We don't have days like this very often, so we'll try to scoot some of the guests to later in the program and allow all of you to participate here at the beginning. You know the drill, the number. Let's get to some phone calls. How about that? We begin with Dominique in Florida. Good afternoon, Dominique.
Paul, how you doing, man? I'm not a bandwagon. I call when we lose. I've been at work. You know, I teach school and coaching, so I ain't been a chance to call. But I'm going to let you know right now, Paul, and Larry and everybody else can say that. I think we have lost it, man, because looking at the game, man, Milrose can't read no defense, man. He a running back playing quarterback, bro. We got to go with the guy from Notre Dame. It's just sad. You mean to tell me that Texas looked like they had better athletes than we had on the field? I'll tell you, you're a lie. But they do. We can't get no receiver to get separation. Well, now we can't blame it on Bill O'Brien. Now he's gone to NFL. I'm starting to say it's the players, man. We're getting five-star players, but I don't think they're as good as what other people getting. Paul, man, it's just I'm depressed. I'm devastated. The school, my kids at the school clowning me. They say it's over, Paul, but I think it is, man. Until we get a
well,
quarterback.
hold on one second, Dominic, and I feel like we've known each other a long time, and you're a diehard fan and you're upset. But why would you say it's over?
Because, Paul, I just think in the sense that the last couple of years we've been hollering about our defense, our secondary, and we giving up. I don't see no improvement. Our pass rushers. Even though we had Will Anderson last year, but when the last time we had some multiple DNs that can get pressure on the quarterback? We couldn't get no pressure on Texas quarterback this weekend. They were getting pressure on our quarterback. Our offensive line I thought would be a lot more proven. It seemed like it's the same thing since last year. And I'm just tired of our players talking about what they're going to do. Just show us on the field. If we want to have a successful season, we got to win out, and we got to get better. What do you mean the last time Alabama game we ain't scored a touchdown in the first half, Paul? When was the last time? Can anybody look that up, Paul? I'm so depressed I can't even look it up. I'm so numb.
Okay. Well, Dominic, we're here to solve problems, not to state the obvious. So to solve a problem, how do you solve this problem? Give me a solution.
Well, my solution is bench. And I'm one of Jalen Monroe's biggest fans when the season starts. He bench Jalen Monroe like we did with Larry Coker, Jake Coker in 2015 when we lost to Ole Miss. The guy from Notre Dame give us a better chance to win. They didn't even respect our passing game. They put a spy on Jalen Monroe. They didn't respect none of our passing game. Of course, he can make throws when he ain't got to read a defense and he can just sit back and throw the ball. But when he has to read a defense, if they're in a cover two, if they're in a cover one or a base defense, he can't do it. As soon as he get pressure, he takes off. He don't never let our receivers get into their first progression. He want to take off. So I say we got to put him at he want to be a running back, put him at running back.
Jim is up next. Jim, go right ahead.
You used to respect what I said. I'm going to tell you flat out, straight up, Dominic nailed it. That's all I can tell you. He flat out nailed it. The Rome's burning, Paul, and I don't think it'll stop burning. You know, that's all I can tell you. Ain't no more dynasty at University of Alabama. And I guarantee you that. Guarantee it. And all Legion can do is just go vomit somewhere because that's all he's got now. Well, I'm not going to say it's over. There ain't no more undefeated seasons. So forth, so on. That's all I got, Paul. That's a fact.
Well, Jim, I hear you, but
Paul, there's too many levels. It's wrong. It's bad on too many levels. Sorry. Still ain't he's the same as he was when he was fired by Saban in 2007 or 8 when he was there for a year. It's no aggression on defense. Horrible offensive play calling up the middle. Same old crap with O'Brien. But it's horrible, Paul. Am I not passionate enough to tell you that? I'm telling you, it's awful. It's awful. And I like Jalen Milroe. I'm not getting on him, but he's not the answer.
But how many times have you heard people say, Jim, Nick Saban will fit?
It don't matter, Paul. I heard it and didn't believe it then. I believe it now, Paul. I believe it now. And I'm not a dummy. I saw so many things wrong. It's unbelievable, Paul. I don't see how Saban has a straight face. He ought to be embarrassed to stay the coach. And I don't know what he can do. He better look for shelters, all I can say, because this is bad.
I mean, Jim,
And
I'm not, Jim, don't you think that's maybe just a slight overreaction?
No, it's not a slight much. It might not be enough. It might not be enough.
I mean, we are talking about Nick Saban here.
I know, and everybody gets past, past their time, and I believe he is. I'm serious. Hey, and you know what, Paul? Like a friend of mine came over the house one time and said, "Man, that pride," when Alabama got beat, he said, "Man, that pride is gone out of the Sunday morning paper. Isn't it refreshing?" Well, the pride wasn't in here on Sunday morning like it usually is. There wasn't no pride going through there Sunday morning, and it won't be for many more Sunday mornings this year, in my opinion.
And so, Jim, this is going to be a question I ask a lot today. What's the solution?
I got no solution, Paul. I got no solution.
What do you do? I mean, we're 2 games into the college football
season. I think
season.
Nick ought to step down. I'll just be honest. I think it's time for him to step down. I think he knew this, and I think he bought that house wherever he bought it, Jupiter or wherever, because he foresaw. He was ready to get out of here. He knew what was coming. NIL killed him, man. NIL killed his ability to dominate. And that's bottom line, Paul. Bottom line.
And you don't see any hope for this season?
Well, I mean, look, I think it would be good if they win some games, probably 8 or 9, but that's it. They ain't gonna dominate nobody. They're gonna get beat by the good teams. This year, they're gonna get beat by the good teams. I believe they'll lose more this year under Saban than he was ever lost at the University of Alabama. More this year. Just see if I'm right.
Well, outside of the first year, and that's a transitional year, he has never lost more than 3 games.
And that's what I believe he'll lose that.
And by the way, I think he only did that once. I think that was that one time in 20.
That's right. He's gonna match it this year, and maybe worse than
2010.
3.
Yeah.
At least 3, I'd say. Huh?
Yeah, 2010 is the only time he's had more than 2 losses.
Well, I'm just telling you, I believe with all my heart he's going to lose at least 3 and maybe more this year. I mean, they can't. I don't think how are they going to beat. How's this team as? I mean, they're so maladjusted. It's not even.
But Jim, here, tell me on this, and we're not talking about championship game. I mean, on the regular season schedule, who is great? We've already seen LSU lose. We've already seen A&M lose.
Name some things, and I'll tell you. Name some things, and I'll tell you who.
Let's put the schedule back up there again, guys. And I'm going to go through this schedule. And you're a smart guy, Jim. I'm going to give you the games that could be in doubt. Ole Miss.
Right now, I think Ole Miss is going to beat them.
Well, I mean, Ole Miss has a dynamic quarter. Okay, October 7th at Texas A&M.
I don't know about that one.
Okay. October 21st, Tennessee.
That lost to Tennessee.
November 4th, LSU.
Oh, that's LSU. I think I really by that time, BK will have them corrected. LSU.
Okay. Well, and there's your there's your season then, because that means that's 3 losses if you're right. And I haven't even gotten to Kentucky or Auburn.
That's what I believe. Write it down. That's what I believe will happen. I'm just telling it like I see it, Paul. That's all I've ever done.
I am so glad, Paul, we get to share our Baton Rouge pain with the good people of Tuscaloosa. That was an absolute physical beatdown. I saw Texas out physical Alabama. Did you see that, or was
absolutely? Yeah, absolutely. You couldn't miss it if you watched the game.
I have never seen that in a Saban team to that degree. At this point in his career, it's not like it's his first year and he's rebuilding a program. His defense looked horrible, especially his defensive backs. Do you not agree to that?
Of course.
I mean, I have never seen an Alabama secondary under Saban look so bad. I said it 2 years ago, Paul. The portal, NIL, are going to be the death of Saban. I do find it a bit shocking, though, that people are calling for Saban's removal. The guy's won 7 titles. I call for firing Ed Ogeron after 1, and I'm a reactionary. But from the questioning that you were giving Jim, you were probing and you were looking for an answer that he finally gave you. And it looks like you're of the opinion that Saban's time in Tuscaloosa is winding down. Is that true or not true? And I mean, winding down, of course.
Augie, I think I've been on this track for some time. When people call up and say that Nick Saban will be there 5 or 10 years, you know what I've said every time.
I know. And Paul, one other thing, I'll let you go. some moron called your show on Thursday and predicted A&M would win, Cal would beat Auburn, and Bama would beat Texas. This person fancies themselves a predictor of college football. All three were wrong, and I hope you call him out on it when he calls in. You know who I'm talking about, right?
I really don't remember that call.
Okay. It was your favorite caller, and remind him he's 0 for 3 in big games.
Oh, okay. JK is up next.
Good afternoon, Paul. My condolences goes out to Matt in San Antonio. And to that guy that wrote that book, My Conference Can Beat Your Conference. I think my conference has beaten your conference 2-1 in both weeks of this 2023 football season. But that's what I call for, baby. You think I call here to be calm? You done lost your mind. Alabama took that steer up the rear. Ain't nobody eating no steaks in T-Town, baby. And Mr. Gary, old legend, you can hide in the witness protection program all day if you want, but when you come out, you're going to have to face a Bama hater, baby. It's week 2. Alabama went from preseason ranked number 4, which they didn't deserve. They went to number 3 for beating an unranked team. Yeah, they beat my team last year. Yeah, they went to number 3 for beating an unranked team, and here they are in week 2 looking for playoff scenarios because they got their butt whooped. Ossock took Nick Saban on that top rope. He wrapped that pink jacket around his neck and did a suplex off the top rope and counted that ass out. 1, 2, 3. It's over with. You've been pacifying legend all summer. You've been getting the Alabama fans' hopes up. You're patting them on the head, putting a pacifier in their mouth. But just like Judas, the Alabama fans are going to kiss old Nick on his forehead and send him on his way. I told you, Paul, the wheels might not fallen off already, but somebody took the lug nuts off. It's over with. You better believe the Bama hater when he tell you, baby. The dynasty is over. The run is over. I don't know who's going to do it, but it ain't no way possible. Alabama's going to go through all of those SEC teams, Tennessee, Auburn, LSU, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. I told you, Paul, back 3, 4, 5 months ago, if Alabama couldn't win the SEC West with Bryce Young, Will Anderson, Toa, and probably going to be the Rookie of the Year in Gibbs, what makes any Alabama fan think they're going to win it without them? What do they have to win it with? Absolutely nothing. Jackie Wilson has left the building.
How long do you think that the University of Alabama is going to sit back and stay with Saban and let Coach Prime maybe go somewhere else? I think they're going to.
Johnny, hold on a second. I'm confused. Are you suggesting that they should replace Nick Saban with right now or at the end of the season with Deion Sanders?
I'm saying the dynasty is over. Your quarterback stares everybody down. He has a long windup, and if you're going to stick with him, you're going to be gone. And I see Coach Prime with players that love to play for him and show respect, and I'm not seeing that out of Alabama. I haven't seen that in the last 3 years out of Alabama.
Johnny, I'll spare you Nick Saban's resume, which is well known to any person that is alive at the moment. But I mean, I don't really know how anyone could come to that. You're going to gamble on a guy that has won the offseason and won the first 2 weeks, and I happen to think a lot of and personally like. But you're going to cast aside the single best coach in the history of the game for someone whose biggest win right now consists of a road win at TCU and a home win against a team that's fired about 5 coaches in Nebraska.
Yeah, I'm saying that. I think it's time you have to analyze the situation, and you got to make a move. You got to plan for the future. So you said yourself.
So Johnny, you're saying right now that Alabama should contact Prime and say, we want you after the season. Is that correct?
Well, they owe him $21 million in Colorado that they can't even pay him, and I assume that if he wanted to come to Alabama, he wouldn't have to take a write it on the wall note.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yes.
Strike up the band. Woo! Legend is next.
Hell yeah, Paul. I'm here, baby. I ride and die with the Tide. You bet your butt on that right there. You know, they said I wouldn't show up, Paul. They said I wouldn't come. Woo! Let me tell you something. Win, lose, or draw, I'll be here to face it all, baby. I'll be here to face it all. Let me tell you something, Paul. Good loss.
Great loss. It's just what they needed.
Great loss. Just what we needed right there. That's what we needed, America, right there. And let me tell you something, Alabama fans. You morons coming on here talking about running Nick Saban off. Well, you lost your damn mind. You forgot the Shula days, the Bowles days. I had to remind y'all. Y'all sit your ass down and shut up. Nick Saban leaves when he wants to. I just seen Nick's press conference. He said the future is now. We're going to throw that as a mark in the Texas.
By the way, this game, does it even count?
I don't think so, man. It's a good loss. It's a good loss.
Using Bama math, it was a preseason game.
Yeah, it was a preseason game. Yeah, you remember that time Ole Miss beat Tebow during his reign, and he cried after the game?
Hey.
Well, I cried after this game. I'm so sorry.
Legend, help me with this, okay? I think this is not Nick Saban's fault. You know whose fault it is?
Whose fault? It's got to be Pete Golden.
It's Pete Golden's fault. Of course it is.
They still got that Pete Golden stuff in their mind. Let me say, I think it's a good loss. I was encouraged by some of the things I've seen. I was really discouraged by the fact that it appears that Kevin Steele kept Pete Golden's playbook when Pete Golden left.
Well, Legend, I'm sure you know this, but the stat sheet shows more yards given up against Kevin Steele than Pete Golden.
Well, yeah, that's a shame. Though, here's the thing: I don't never see a safety blitzing, Paul. Do you ever see a cornerback blitzing for Alabama?
No.
I mean, we don't never see nobody. You know.
Same defense.
What the hell's? Yeah, I mean, what the hell's up with Terran Arnold, number 3? I mean, I love you, dude, but you can't grab somebody's jersey for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 yards. I mean, come on, man. Who's teaching you that crap? Is that something Kevin?
Well, he did save Legend. He did save a touchdown.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, come on, he gave up 2 or 3, though.
Well, that was later. What about Saban? I can't remember who was that, Downs or the other guy, where Saban was explaining the art of defending on the sideline. Kind of late, isn't it?
Yeah, it was real late. It was real late. I'm gonna tell you, I was talking to David Legend, my brother. And I told him where Nick Saban has failed Alabama is he has not exploited the free agent market, the transfer portal.
Right.
He ought to be bringing in 10, 15 players out of that portal every year. I mean, we need guys at cornerback. We need guys at quarterback. We need guys all over the field, man. I mean, we got frontline talent. But, man, we could use a few cornerbacks in that dadgum secondary right there, man. He is not – I'm shocked, too, because he loved the free agency in the NFL, but now that he's got to college, he'll get a Gibbs or he'll get a Williams. He got to be getting 10 to 15 players out of there every year. That's where Colorado and these other teams are getting it done at. Even LSU, Ole Miss, that's where they're getting it done. Hell, Ole Miss got like 18 quarterbacks out of the transfer portal this year. I mean, come on. Come on, Nick. Get into free agent, man. I love you, man, but you got to get right with that right there. But it's a good loss, Paul. It's a good damn loss. I'm enjoying it. Can't you tell? I mean, it's a good damn loss, Paul. A good damn. I hope the Alabama players are pissed, too. And let me tell the Alabama players something. It seems like the fans love it and cherish the crimson and white more than you. I hope you're pissed off today. I hope you're ready to get mad. Because when I look at the rest of our schedule, I just don't see a whole lot that scares me, Paul. The SEC on the whole is down. And that's why, Paul, let me bring this up. That's why I don't ever come on here talking about SEC. And I've been criticized for that. You know, the first time Alabama loses, here comes all that SEC talk about, ooh, I love that. I love seeing the king go down. The dynasty's over with. There ain't no SEC. I told y'all that. We ride alone. Stay out of them by 14. I knew he was in trouble. But it's a good loss. I'm enjoying it. Ain't you Alabama players? Ain't you Nick Saban? I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Big Paul looking good and sounding good. Sounds like old Legends had him a few Bud Lights this afternoon.
He's into something.
I'll tell you something, though. The SEC looked bad this weekend. Ain't nobody gonna deny that. But I can't believe that Alabama fans are wanting to get rid of the coach. The man's won 7 championships. I mean, that's crazy to me. But you think we're going to have a comeback, Mr. Finebaum?
Your team, you mean?
I mean, the SEC is a total conference.
Well, most of the non-conference games are over. So, I mean, there's a few left. You got Ole Miss and Georgia Tech. You got your game against Clemson. But I don't think the SEC is bad. I just think there have been some unusual matchups.
Quick comment. You know, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And, of course, I agree with Legend. You know, people want to toss Coach Saban out, but people must remember this man has won 7 championships in a period of 19 years. And it was a terrible loss on Saturday. But Linda, I think, would concur with this, that if a patient is in respiratory distress, we don't automatically put them on life support. We have what's called non-invasive ventilation if they're in distress. And so as a respiratory care educator, respiratory care practitioner, there's other modalities, there's other choices that we have, but that patient or that team is certainly not on life support at this point. So I say to all of the Bama fans, if you're a true Bama alumni like myself and you're a Bama tired of life, then just chill out. And as Coach Saban said, things can be worked out. And so with a person that's in respiratory distress, they can be helped. And they can overcome this challenge. So, but it was a wake-up call. But hey, this is the second game of the season, so I'm not being over-optimistic. And when you poke the bear and get the wake-up call, hey, then the ball is in your court.
Thank you very much, Mel. You take care of yourself. Todd is up next. Good afternoon, Todd.
Hey, Paul. Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I had to give it to Texas. They really kicked our butts. But, Paul, there's something you can do when they're rushing too many men. You got to dump it off to your running backs and stuff and be able to get rid of the ball. I didn't see that, and they showed no sign of that. Also, when your offense can't make a first down, it leaves the defense on the field. They're so tired their tongues are hanging out, so when they run past them going down the field, you got to hang on. That's the only way you can keep up with them. And therefore, there come your penalties. And I want to say one more thing with Jim and Augie. You know, we've seen Augie go crazy over the first ball game, LSU. So he's nothing more than a fan, just like us, Paul. But him and Jim ought not use words on this show that they can't spell. Thank you, Paul. Have a good day.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.